Welcome to RCS. I'm Dan.
I'm Nick.
We're back after a week off.
Well, yeah. How you feeling?
Much better now.
Much better?
Much
Okay.
better now, yeah. 95%.
That's what you get for enjoying your holidays.
That's right.
Hey, I mean, consider yourself lucky. Like I said, I earned when I got sick earlier last year because I went to Nashville. So, you still had a good time. So.
Oh, yeah. No, I wouldn't say worth it. But
no,
it
not
wasn't
definitely
fun,
not worth
but,
it.
No, officially negative.
Okay, yeah. Well, you've always been a little negative.
That's true.
So, it's just your attitude in general. So. No.
Well, we're recording live at Haggerty Garage and Social, formerly Drivers Club, but we're still brought to you by Avance, Carter Automotive Group, Griot's Garage, Haggerty, Let's Drive Together, Salvo Design, and New York Real Estate.
Yeah. I was talking to my good friend Carl, who I remembered his name right away this time.
Oh, good.
We came out to the Avance Off-Road event at night, which was by far the best time I've ever had on that course. And I tell you, it was really tough because I had your truck, and everybody was, especially Lene. Lene really wanted to take your truck out.
Oh, I know.
And so I fought it hard. I had to hide the keys. I just stood by the fireplace. But Carl was out there having a good old time. He's retired, as you know, but not really retired. He's now a professional photographer, so it was good to see him.
He's a media director, technically? Is that his title?
I don't know what it is. I mean, his name gets printed in the front of the magazine. That's all I know.
Carl is officially working for Avance. So.
Yeah. Because everybody knew he couldn't retire.
Right. No kidding. He was retired for like a week.
Well, I think that, again, I still think that has to do with more with the wife. Like, yeah, great, you're retired. Go get a job.
Yeah.
Gosh, I've talked about these guys before, but they just launched a series today, which will be Thursday. But Expedition Overland just is doing a brand new series. They just built two brand new Tacomas, and there's going to be a 5-part series. They took them up to Alaska, and they just launched the series today where they built the Tacomas, and it's a really cool series. Some of the neat new stuff that we don't even have and haven't seen before that they put on those trucks. So I really suggest I'll put the link in. We'll put the link in the episode, but really cool.
We need more listeners so we can get cool new stuff people haven't heard of.
Oh, those guys! Wow. I mean, I was just like, oh, I mean, they're ordering stuff from Australia, and some of the new like digital light stuff they have, everything, and basically the whole truck runs off of their phone and things like that, but everything's hooked together. It's really cool. Really cool systems. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
I will check that out.
Yeah.
This week's Carter Automotive Group tip of the week comes to you from a friend who messaged me and said, how do I change the wipers on my BMW? Because I can't get them.
It's the hardest thing you'll ever do. BMW makes it tough. But,
well, they made it easier now, but it's just not straightforward. You don't just lift the wiper arms and slide them off. And this is a lot of cars. This is why I'm bringing it up. This is BMW specific in this case, but a lot of cars have this, what is called a wiper service mode. And in BMW, you hit the power button once, not turning the engine on, but turning the power onto the car, and then you press and hold the wipers up for about 10 seconds, and then they will shoot straight up, allowing them to be rocked back, and then you can take the wiper right off. It's actually a really easy thing to change.
because they tuck under the hood.
They tuck under the hood.
Okay.
Yeah, and so a lot of cars do this, and if you are buying an F-Series BMW or any car that does this is one of the things you actually want to look for when you're looking for body damage on a used car, is if people don't know how to do that, they'll try and pry them up, and you'll see a lot of damage under the hood right on that edge. This is common on C7 Corvettes as well, by the way.
Because I feel like that's something that BMW and the dealerships do just to force you to come in to get your wipers changed at the dealership. Like, I don't feel like
it's super simple, but
was
it's not
that
in the
something
manual.
that's told to this person when they bought the car? Like,
No.
I've never even heard that.
No.
And BMW has always been a pain in the ass to get the wiper blades off. Like,
Yes.
even on my E46.
These are super easy now. You literally they're the twist lock type, which is actually my favorite type of wiper blade, because you literally just, once you get the wiper blade up, you just twist them and they just pull straight off. They're kind of locked in place there, but there's no clips to undo. It's literally like a 5-second change.
Then it's gotten better.
It's gotten better.
Worse.
Yeah, they used to have those weird clips, or even bolted on in some cases, but
fun.
Yeah, but if you find yourself struggling with this, or like you can't get the wipers up, it's probably not you. It's probably a wiper service mode, and it's different for every car, but do a quick YouTube search on whatever car you've got, and you'll find that it's probably a pretty easy thing to do. We've mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it every time we talk about wipers. Put a towel down on your windshield when you change your wipers, because many, many times I see people change the wipers, pull the arm off, then just tap that arm just a little bit, then it goes flying down and cracks the windshield. And if you've got a new, M6, which is the same process, that's probably a $2,000 windshield out of pocket.
If not more, yeah.
If not more.
Yeah.
And so, you might have, one, you don't want to have to change your windshield for a stupid reason like that. Two, you don't want to pay the deductible. Or three, you don't want to pay out of pocket. So, just put a towel down. It'll save you the headache.
And 4 or 5, good luck getting a windshield.
Yeah, especially right now.
Yeah.
So
somebody told me that some of the glass companies are 2 to 3 months out right now.
Yep. Yeah. What's our CarTech, our guys that I go to for everything, they are backlogged like 3 months, even for basic stuff right now. So unless you know somebody and you're a repeat customer like me who's replaced their Porsche windshield 3 times in 3 months, then you're probably going to be at the back of the line. So
just ordering them in bulk now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, easier.
Well, the car's gone. But anyway, that's your Carter Automotive Group tip of the week. You're probably not an idiot when it comes to changing your wiper blades if they are abnormally difficult. They are just some manufacturers. Well, I should go back a little bit. There is a reason for this. It adds quite a bit to aerodynamics of the vehicle to tuck the wiper blades down. You'd be surprised how much drag that creates on the windshield. And so you can get rid of that buffer zone by tucking the windshield wipers down a little bit. And if the hood isn't designed to block them, then it makes sense to have them tuck out of the way.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just it makes them a pain to change. So if you don't know how.
See, I learned something new. The more you know.
Yeah.
Rainbow.
Coming up, so we have guests today, which is great. We've missed guests, but we have another bonus episode coming up. If you guys saw our Facebook or our website, you probably saw that I made a tool list after being prodded for years about this. And I've had this Amazon wish list going since... Oh, man, it's probably 4 years old now, where I've started logging every single tool I've ever bought from Amazon, which was very painful to look at. And thank God there's no running total at the bottom, or I'd probably cry, especially if you included all the power tools that aren't on there. Because I don't add woodworking tools power saws and things like that. I could, but I mean, they're not automotive related. And the list is called Dan's Automotive Arsenal.
Yes.
I don't have a running total. I don't think I should probably do that for my own sanity because
definitely an investment.
I went through and I went through the last 4 years of my orders. I just clicked through every single page because there's probably one every 2 weeks where I'm ordering some kind of small car part, whether it's a bit adapter or something small, that I'm I should have had this. It adds up over time. And as you experience, my toolbox is bursting at the seams. Massively.
Yeah, I mean, the drawers just want to come right on out.
Right. And one of the things I've listed is get a heavier duty toolbox than you want and a bigger one than you want because you'll end up needing it. But anyway, if you go to our tips and links page...
that's why I bought the bigger one. That's not why I bought it. I screwed up. Yeah, okay.
If you go to our tips and links page, I finally published that, and it is much longer than I thought. But if I was just starting out, I really wish I had this information at my fingertips. It's curated not only through my own opinions, but through resources from YouTube like Project Farm and Essential Craftsman, where guys do really thorough tests, and that's often how I decide what tools I want. So I try and find that sweet spot because I'm a home mechanic. I'm not a pro, and it's semi-professional grade and where it's needed. There's some things that I think are worth the money and you shouldn't cheap on, but there's a sweet spot in the middle where I don't think you need although worth it, $600 Snap-on torque wrench. It is better than the rest, hands down. But if you are like me and torque your lugs 4 times a year, it's hard to justify a $650 torque wrench on a Ford Raptor. On the Porsche, where you have center locks, that $500 split torque wrench breaker bar that I have to carry with me, that was worth it. But thank God I don't have that anymore.
I mean, as you know, I probably put the Milwaukee grandchildren through college last year with my upgrade. And now Milwaukee sends me emails. In fact, they sent me one today, and I've been really good. I didn't order this, but they now have an under-car light.
Ooh. And
it's a magnet, and then it's got a long arm on it that you can move. And I'm like, oh. Then I went to Home Depot and saw what it cost, so we'll wait on that one a little bit. But I'm going to need that. I mean, that's a need,
totally.
Right? I mean, yeah. So
who doesn't need a specific under-car light versus a headlight, a flashlight, or many of the other lights?
I could have used a bunch of lights working on the Subaru a couple weekends ago, and a non-dirt floor.
Well, the nice thing about the Subaru is you don't need a mountain of very vehicle-specific tools.
No.
The Subaru actually makes it pretty easy because they're a mainstream product. All manufacturers have vehicle-specific tools, but some, especially Audi, Porsche, Ferrari, just have this massively long only from the dealer tool list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember McLaren had factory FACOM tools, FACOM. Griot's actually carries them, the same manufacturer, but they had a list of tools that were for service for certain McLarens. And it was the price of a McLaren to work on your McLaren if you bought the tools.
You don't want to
just to be the service tech. And the service techs at Audi, for example, probably have a master tech, 20 years in the business, probably has 100 grand worth of tools.
At least
to see. And they do this every day. So this is an investment over 20 years on a lifetime of, return on your investment. That's not that bad. It really isn't because it's your livelihood. If you're a McLaren tech and that's all you do, you've probably got 7 figures worth of tools.
At least. I mean, you would hope that
if you're certified to work on it. Oh, they do. But
still.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a fun read through. I tried to put as many detailed but not overly long descriptions on every tool I have on there. We gotten good feedback on it, and we're going to do an episode about it covering the main ones. That could be a 4-part episode, so don't worry. We won't read a list to you for 4 hours. But we will cover some
grab the half-inch Milwaukee 12-volt. No. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so anyway, look forward to that coming up.
Yeah.
But today's guests, I say plural, One of them is a repeat guest in a different context, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, he quit, so.
Right?
Yeah.
And everything went, no,
Quitter.
just kidding. But this has been a popular request, and I'm thankful the timing finally worked out to both have you here. But Chris Roberts, Eric Reiff, Zadart, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, what the hell, man? Where'd you go?
We do miss you. You'll remember Chris from his episode with Salish Lodge and Spa, where we were big fans of going up there because they had hands down the best service around. That was just a fact. It wasn't an opinion. Everybody went up there and talked about it. They raved about it. That's what they were known for.
Where'd we get the Rolls Royce for his episode? I remember somebody was in the trunk. I forgot.
Metropolitan.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. I was like, where did we? I was like, I remember that.
Stack of money, too.
Yeah, stack of money and Metropolitan Detail.
Yeah, valets always have money. Yeah. So, welcome, guys.
Yeah.
Obviously, like Dan said, a lot of people obviously know or drive by where Zadart is. Not a lot of people sometimes probably don't know what it is. So why don't we start with that? Give us a little bit of background on where it came from and what you're doing.
Yeah, so Johnny Netz was the original founder and CEO, 2015. And, man, it has really evolved into something that nobody ever expected. I mean, he started by renting his Ford on Turo out of his garage, and now we're like downtown Bellevue with a 9,000 square foot showroom. And it really was like just a passion project that he was like, I love cars. And the story goes he wanted black wheels on his Ford, and his dad wouldn't pay for it. So he said, like, if you can make the money, you can, get it yourself. And it's kind of how it started. So it's been a long journey. There's been a lot of weird stuff that's happened along the way. Lots of stories, really weird ones, but it's a really interesting.
A lot of accidents. I'll say it.
Yeah,
weird accidents in the early days. Yeah.
What?
What do you mean one of them hit the other one? What?
Yeah. No, there's a famous picture of a Rolls Royce in our own parking lot that was like on a curb, and we were like, it was not great. So.
That's not where we parked that.
Yeah, definitely not. So yeah, it's been very eye-opening experience. I actually just left in September, and Chris came in.
Cool.
Started, paving his own path.
Yep. I mean, being at Salish for years was awesome. Great place. Was definitely ready for something new, kind of a lifestyle change. Going from hospitality, which is kind of almost a 24-hour a day gig.
Yeah.
We're open all day long, so Zadart at least closes at 7 o'clock. Monday through Friday set schedule has been awesome, but just being around these cars obviously is a passion of mine, so coming there every day is a great way to start out.
And the official term, it's an exotic car rental.
Car rental and sales.
And sales.
Okay.
Oh,
and sales. Okay. Yeah. And there's still a clubhouse aspect to it.
Not really with COVID.
Oh,
it
yeah.
became a little
that makes
challenging.
sense. Yeah.
We understand how a clubhouse can be cleared out during COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
No, COVID changed a lot of things, but the car rentals didn't stop, which was kind of weird. It was a lot of people's escape from,
Literally,
sitting at
get
home.
out of the house.
Yeah, I was going to say, you
Yeah.
finally you're just sitting around all day. It's like that thing. I've been wanting to do this forever, and now I can do it on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And the roads are empty.
Yeah, the roads.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People aren't spending money going out doing other stuff, so, you don't do anything for a month. You got a little extra money sitting around and, go try something new.
Yeah, go drive your
Good
dream.
place to use your stimulus check.
Absolutely.
Saw a lot of that.
Stimulate your brain. Yeah, absolutely.
So who is the I know you have several types. So who's the average Zadart customer?
Man, a lot of kids.
Yeah?
A lot of 18 to 25-year-old kids.
How does that work with a rental?
Your insurance covers it. That's what a lot of people, the insurance aspect of this business is really tricky, but it boils down to if you have full coverage, you can rent a car for less than 30 days in the U.S. or Canada. So
Even if you're not 25?
Even under 25.
It's not a law. It's just a rental car registration.
Oh, it's a policy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and most people
I thought there was a premium for under 25, though.
They charge it because they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a law that says they can't. So you could go to Hertz and it's technically not illegal. They won't let you, but we don't have any restrictions besides an underage fee.
Underage fee
that's
and
fair.
Probably really good insurance.
Yeah, and if you're 18 and you want a 720, it's probably not going to happen. But
Still reserve the right to.
Yeah.
At our own opinion.
Right.
Yeah, and that opinion has been required a lot.
I want to rent that. No.
Yeah, not going to happen. And it's the people who come in and they ask, so are there any restrictions? You're kind of like, yeah, for you, kind of.
Yeah, we just adopted someone about 3 seconds ago.
Red flags start flying when they walk out the door.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's and so basically they're coming in there like a typical rental. They're getting it for a certain amount of time or miles, correct?
Yeah, either hourly rentals or daily rentals, even weekly and monthly.
Wow.
Okay.
And then for the daily rentals, we do two different packages, either 100 miles per day or unlimited miles, which in my opinion is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, I was going to say, I could do 100 miles easily.
Yeah, you may think 100 miles a little cheaper,
Yeah.
but as soon as you get to 80 miles, you're kicking yourself for not going unlimited.
Right.
Especially when you're 80 miles away.
I was going to say, I think
That's
I put
going to go over. Yeah.
200 miles a day on those McLarens we had. So
Yeah, I think I put close to 1,000 miles on that. Yeah.
yeah, in a week. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, I drove to the store as many times as I could and for each item. But yeah, because why not?
I need coffee from.
I warned Adam at the time. I was like, I'm going to drive this. Like, I took it places that probably shouldn't have gone. Nothing illegal, but just places I probably shouldn't have taken it.
Costco trip.
No, I took some photos underneath the West Seattle Bridge, and I stopped in a really neat area, but it was a little. I didn't realize how sketchy it was until everybody started kind of coming out of the woodwork, and I was like, oh, I should go now. I believe the phrase "give that to me" was said, so I was like, I'm gonna go.
Cool. It's Night of the Living Dead. Oh wait.
Oh god. Oh god. Yeah. So.
Okay. So what does it range per car? So I mean, because you guys don't have just one set rate, obviously. You've got what do the cars start at and what do they go to?
I mean,
as far as unlimited miles, Range Rover Sport 500 a day.
Oh, okay.
All the way up to Aventador S 2,800 a day.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, but I mean,
it makes total sense. I'm just going, okay, yeah.
I'm just thinking, because if you're, a lot of people are going to be, an Aventador is going to be so far out of their range, but $2,800 for an unlimited miles to drive the car of your dreams for a day, it seems like a lot, but it's not like you're doing this every month. This is a killer birthday present to yourself.
Do you guys help? Do you teach these people how to drive these cars before they leave? Like, I feel like
as much as they'll listen.
Well, I know. I was going to say
the excitement is so high sometimes that getting the attention is a little hard.
I saw it on Need for Speed. I got this.
So cold start, launch mode. Let's go.
Oh yeah,
Corsa. You forgot the Corsa.
Yeah. That was our big concern. Like Corsa mode, all the traction off and everything. How to safely let people enjoy the cars to an extent where it was still fun, but not going through Aventador clutches every 4,000 miles, and it was really tricky at first to kind of figure out the sweet spot where people wouldn't complain about modes being disabled, but also not be doing donuts and stuff. So we had a lot of Gallardo rear-wheel drive donuts and intersections and stuff like that took a lot of learning to kind of master.
Yeah, because when they look at the camera and they look at the license plate, it comes back to you, and you know who did it, but it's still, they're showing up at your dealership kind of thing.
Yeah, or when State Patrol calls and says, we're towing 3 of your cars, or unless you come get them right now. You're like, but they just left an hour ago.
How could they get in that much trouble?
Oh, man.
It's really easy to be pulled over, especially in Redmond. I don't know if you know that. You really got to be careful. It's a little tricky.
Didn't experience that at all.
I saw pull down the street, had red and blues behind him tonight. So, those people, I'll tell you.
Shortest traffic stop I've ever experienced.
It's the way to do it.
No, we get a lot of police interaction, loud exhaust in Bellevue, loud exhaust in Kirkland, loud exhaust in Woodinville. I mean, loud exhaust everywhere.
It echoes. My parents live in downtown Bellevue in one of the towers, and you can always tell when somebody's racing, especially through the new Amazon corridor there, and it just probably racing back to you guys because their time-wise is up. But
It's exactly right. First gear all the way through.
Absolutely. There's so many times I'm just shift. On the balcony screaming, you can hit the paddle. It's okay. Exactly. We all know.
How people know I'm compensating.
Right? Yeah.
Let's take our first quick break. We'll be right back, and we'll talk more about the cars you guys have to offer and more fun stories. We'll be right back.
We spend an average of 8 hours and 41 minutes a day facing screens. Laptops, smartphones, tablets, even digital refrigerators. But what are we really connected to? Isn't it time you connected to something greater? Sometimes the best way to connect is to disconnect. This moment of escape was created by Hagerty for people who love cars.
And we're back. All right, so I want to go in and I'm going to go rent a McLaren or something fun that I really love. What do you think I should do with that car?
They were not going to let you do it.
No, I know.
They
Not
know who
me,
you are.
but somebody responsible with good credit and money.
Totally not you or me. No.
I mean, we've had a ton of people do the Cascade Loop. Everyone
yeah.
loves it. Like when the
Yeah.
C8 when we first got the C8, like 5 rentals in a row did the whole loop. And we put like almost 5,000 miles on it in like probably a week and a half. Like just
That's
really
cool, though. That's a really good idea.
idea.
Yeah. That and like we had a couple come in during COVID actually because it was their anniversary and they were supposed to go to Jamaica, but instead they rented the Aventador and they went to like their first date hamburger place in Yakima.
Oh, okay.
nice.
So like just like taking a drive, enjoying the car, like kind of getting out of Bellevue where, you know, people are looking and watching and like it's fun to drive through Bellevue, but like one time is like you know, okay, people have seen me like you know, just places where people can kind of get out. And
First place I'm going is the I-90 tunnels. I'll be honest. Like any car somebody gives me. McLaren, first place I went was the tunnels.
Yeah.
Since
we do the 1 hour rentals, we have like the GPS and we can just see like I-90, I-5, 520, like, the big loop.
Yeah.
No, it's fun though.
Nice.
Where do you send people?
I was going to say Cascade Loop is an awesome one, but ideally just make a plan. Don't just pick the car up and don't know where you're going.
Okay.
Make a plan. I think the coolest thing that I see people do with the cars, no additional fee to add an additional driver to your rental.
Oh, yeah.
So come in with a buddy, 2, 3, 4 buddies, rent a group of cars. You just fill out a contract for each one. Then you can go out on a drive and you can swap cars throughout the whole drive.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So then you're renting one car, but you're getting to drive 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Very cool.
I think that's the best way that people.
Yeah, I never thought about that. That's a great idea.
Exactly. Yeah. So technically, if I crashed your car, it's your fault? No.
People always ask that when they're signing. They're like, so if I sign and he crashes, what happens? And I was like, well, you guys better all know who crashed because don't want
We're going to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's fun. I mean, overnight trips are really popular. Like basically anywhere that's like 4 hours of driving or less. Okay. Like Spokane's a lot of miles, but it's 4 hours, so people don't like because it's just all highway.
Yeah, it's not a very good drive, actually.
Yeah, like Chuckanut, like all the fun roads that people can kind of experience. It's about experiencing the car.
I think if I was going to take a car overnight, I'd want to drive all night. Like I'd want to, you know, the idea of going somewhere and driving there would be fun, but like the idea of sitting in a hotel room and looking at going, I'd be like, I'll just go drive around, you know, wherever I'm at.
Oh, I'd go to Walla Walla, then I'd go to Enterprise and back via Hell's Canyon.
Yeah.
Like that loop. That would be the way to go. I'd just get like a super, super early morning drive. Like do that all the way back. 'Cause you can do it in a day. It's a lot of miles, but man, it's a lot of miles.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So you guys, I mean, I think everybody thinks it's always exotic cars, but like you said, you're doing Range Rovers and luxury sedans and things like that as well, right?
Rolls Royce, G-Wagons, S580.
That'd be a nice, comfortable car.
High school reunion. That's what I keep thinking.
We have a lot of weddings, especially in the summer.
Yeah. There you go.
Very picturesque, kind of, you know, bring all your friends, take your pictures, go hang out, go park the car at the valet, that kind of thing. So,
didn't you guys use, when your cars get used in like the Washington Lotto like on
was
UW
it,
campus?
a Huracan,
Yeah.
And every gas station I'd go, I'd see the little flyer, and I was like, oh yeah,
I know that
cool.
car, yeah.
yeah.
You couldn't afford it if you won the laundry.
One nice, fun, and unique aspect you guys have is that you guys got to be experts on these cars, so you drive all of them.
Yeah.
What is your favorite that you've driven, Eric?
We had a supercharged Performante from VF Engineering, and that thing was absolutely nuts. It went out on probably 3 rentals, and we were like, we can't rent this car anymore. Like,
You're like, that's
I was
going to
say, that's a lot of horsepower for people that know how to drive a car.
Yeah, no, it's like, I think it's like 900 horsepower, like at the crank. Yeah, I mean, the thing was just absolutely bananas. The 0 to 60 was like, yeah, it was just crazy. And it was lowered and had like HRE rims that were like $13,000, and it was not a good rental car.
Especially in Bellevue. Oh, God, especially now. Have you seen all the potholes that are in the roads now?
Oh, yeah, there's one.
Freeze,
there's one on my road that hitting it in my Raptor hurts.
Yeah.
So the Audi's like, wait for the other lane to clear.
It's getting bad around here, but yeah, I could see that somebody coming out and let alone taking off one of those nice lips on the Performante. So
yeah.
So it didn't last long, or just went.
We decided it was more of a personal car.
That's fair. I mean, yeah.
We rented it to a couple repeats. They were like, they've driven all of our cars, so they were confident and you know, did 100 miles, and we're like, that was the coolest thing ever, and you know, moved on. So
fun car to do pulls in. Yeah.
It was nuts. I think in Mexico somewhere when we went. It was 217 miles an hour.
Oh.
So, yeah, it gets up there quickly.
Huh.
Yeah.
It must be to get all the way to Mexico and back. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good road trip.
100 miles round trip.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoy seeing your stories of when you were like out of state picking up a car and driving it back.
That was honestly one of the most fun parts of the job. Like we'd buy a car in Vegas or in LA and like cannonball it back and like drive through the night, not sleep. Like we drove a Urus back from Vegas straight through, and
That's a nice car to do it in.
Oh, we woke up feeling horrible and had the massage seats, and it was like, this is getting a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know? So just like stuff like that, nobody drives their Urus that far that owns one. I mean, I'm sure people do, but like
very rarely. Yeah.
and like nobody really gets the opportunity to do that. So it was very like eye-opening to me just to be able to experience that, like things that nobody gets to. It's awesome, and being able to share that with renters, like even if it's for an hour, people come back like happier than they've ever been.
Well, and it's unique around here. As much as there's so much money and things like that. You go to Vegas, they're everywhere. The YouTube channels and things like that, and LA. But here, you guys are. I think you're the only game in town that can rent these kind of cars, or are willing to rent this kind of cars to the public. I mean,
yeah.
I remember when it was a big deal when Hertz got their Maserati fleet, which
Oh, and their Mustangs.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, but the original Mustangs would have been cool, but no. Yeah, it's definitely unique to the area.
Yeah. Chris, what about you?
Still kind of working my way through the whole fleet, but every time I keep going back to that Huracan. It's the perfect car in my book. I got to go pick it up in the snow last couple weeks ago. We had a rental that had rented it. It started snowing, and then they called us and refused to bring it back or do anything. So we went to pick it up.
I mean, I feel like that's a nice phone call. Like, I would love to return it to you. I do not feel I'm qualified to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, better than throwing it into a curb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's at the bottom of my hill. Come get it.
Yeah.
But Pilot Sport 4S's on the Huracan, and I made it back from Seattle, and
Perfect snow tires.
issue. Yeah. It still handled amazing. I was very impressed. Yeah.
It's fine.
Got some of the funniest looks I've ever seen, I think, though.
That's actually kind of cool. I always love taking the Porsche out in the snow. The Huracan would be so much even better.
Yeah.
Of course, I had snow tires on it, but
Yeah, but I mean, you can put snow tires. I mean, we've
You
talked
should,
about
yeah.
100 times that when Roy used to put snow tires on his SV
all
and take it up.
Lamborghinis.
And I was like, why not? People would go nuts. It's like, why would you do that? It's all-wheel drive. It's
yeah, you're going to shovel some
clearance-wise,
snow. But
you're
it's
a
not gonna
snow
hurt
plow, but
anything.
yeah.
Performs incredibly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably the best traction management system on the planet between the R8 and the Huracan. Now, they are 90% rear-wheel drive bias from the factory, but they can compensate really quickly to front and rear, so they're fantastic in wet weather.
As long as you're not over like about 5'11", 5'12".
Right, yeah, I was going to say.
Other than that, yeah. So
Convertibles I do not fit.
No.
I think
Yeah,
6'1" is the uncomfortable
Yeah,
max.
That's where your eye level's right at the windshield.
I can fit in a Huracan, like I actually physically fit, but I can't see out the windshield properly at all.
Right.
Like I have to turn my head to the side. Otherwise, I'm just looking right at the pillar at the top. I hate it.
Yeah.
The R8's got a taller roof, thank God. But anyway.
And a much more comfortable interior, I think.
Yeah, it depends on the seats you get, I think.
Well, but I mean, as far as the same cars being an R8 and a Huracan, I like the R8.
I do too.
And I think there's more space and more room. I like the layout a little bit better too. So,
yeah.
Although, I mean, I wouldn't mind one of those new STOs.
No.
Yeah, we have a tier kind of system of like cars we take people through.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of start off with like the C8 or something like that, and then you kind of move up to like an R8 and then a Huracan or a 488 and then up to the Aventador. And it's just funny because people get so confident in the R8 because it's just so good
So
all
easy
around.
to drive, yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably slightly biased, but
Yeah, your personal car, it's an R8 V10.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a plus?
it's just normal. Like the 2014, they only had the performance. It's just a normal.
Only.
It's just the normal.
Just normal.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, every time I see a V10 Plus or whatever performance come up, I'm like, man, why didn't I like get that?
Yeah.
A little bit more.
You're telling me now that they're $200,000. When they were 140, they were a lot more appealing.
Yeah, that's why it's so hard to buy cars for the fleet right now because it's just like, how do you justify? I mean, they'd take massive depreciation, and starting at such a high number, it's like, it's so tough.
It's got to be rented a lot.
Yeah, and man, insurance pays well, but like not that well. So, you know.
But I mean, and you get to experience something a lot of people don't with exotics as far as higher mileage cars and how these cars really do with higher mileage. Because a lot of people they buy their Huracan, that's great, it sits in the driveway, they put 1,000 miles a year because that's what. But tell us a little bit about that. How are these cars doing? I mean, with not only are they getting high mileage, but let's be honest, some of the people that are driving them are doing the stutter steps and things like that.
I mean, that was honestly the most impressive thing for me. Like, we quickly figured out what a rental fleet is and like why people don't rent F430s, for example. We had one we had so many problems with it.
Yeah.
The Huracan, the last one, no, not the last one, the one before the last one, we bought it with 8,000 miles, and it was totaled with 82. And the only thing we did, no brakes, just oil changes and like spark plugs and stuff. Like there was no major maintenance over a course of like 4.5 years. So
See, drive your cars. Everybody
Yeah.
sits and drives. That doesn't drive these cars. They sit, and then there's all these huge maintenance things because seals dry up. Drive
made
your
to be
cars.
driven,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Especially that, like Audi engineering with Lamborghini. Like a lot of people don't like it, but if you drive your car, like it's so much better now. It's awesome. Like we have, I think our current R8 has like 70,000 miles, something
I
like
think it was
that.
68. I was just
Yeah.
setting someone up before I took off. Come here.
Wow.
Yeah, and we bought it with 18, like maybe a year and a half ago, a year ago, something like that.
Dang.
So you're buying the cars when they come into the fleet used. Are you not buying off the showroom floor?
The only cars we buy new are like the GT500 and the C8.
Yeah,
'cause, like,
that makes sense.
I mean, like used is the same price as new, and like the market's so nuts right now that it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's really tough to buy anything. But yeah, we really try not to buy. Like if you buy a new Aventador, oh my god, you can't. It's like not a rental car. Like you have to let that.
$450,000 later.
Yeah, exactly. You let the first guy take like the 150K hit, and then you'll get into something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the C8's still a lot of car. Speaking of that,
Oh, everyone loves it.
yeah.
It's very
have
popular.
you driven one?
Not in any real form. I have sat in one and moved it a little bit just to kind of click it through, but I haven't had a chance to actually open one up, which is sad.
I don't even know if I've sat in one.
Yeah, they're really
Trying to think
comfortable,
about it. Yeah, okay.
surprisingly. I like the layout's very
The
functional.
waterfall dash. and all
Yeah,
that,
it's kind of funky to look at once you're in it, but it's really functional once you get used to it. And you get used to it almost immediately. Like everything just kind of laid out where you expect it to be, and it's very driver focused, so I like that. And I'm not a purist, so I think the engine is finally in the right place, because if you've ever driven any Corvette,
blasphemy.
putting power down was always a problem.
Yes.
And the C8, from what I've told, and everybody who's had one, Brian, of course, just given me extensive feedback on it. It puts the power down so easily. Like you go faster than you think you are, because it's actually an extremely fast car. 0 to 60 in, 3 seconds? 3.5?
No, it was like, well, I mean, they have the built-in thing, so I don't know how accurate it is, but they have like the in-dash,
Yeah.
like 0 to 60. And the first time I ever did it was right after I did the 500 braking miles, and it was 2.6.
They're crazy fast.
Yeah. And I was
Thing's
like,
a riot to drive.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it when I was like, really? Like, what is a base model Corvette that was like 73 grand or whatever, you
Yeah.
know? Like, way more car than most people ever would want to drive,
Yeah.
you know?
That's what I want those 72-year-old guys that are waiting for the upgrade. Exactly.
Yeah.
Spitting in the intersection. I don't know what to do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, great car, though. We have a deposit in on a Z06, so,
Ah, sweet. Yeah.
yeah, those things are going to be nuts.
What's the delivery date on that? Like
We don't know. We just
yeah.
they said give us
Chevy's
money.
not even
and-
telling anybody, huh?
No, and the
Give
dealer
us your
doesn't
money.
know. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll put you in line if you give us that sweet deposit. So,
Of course. Yeah. Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, Brian told me, I was like, I want a 25. If it comes out in 23, I want a 25 at
Yeah.
the earliest. That's it. I will wait for the bugs to go out when that thing, explodes 10 times. Because GM.
I'm on the same boat with the Bronco, especially seeing
Yep.
how people are breaking them left and right. So many photos of Broncos where both wheels are pointing the same way, or opposite ways, I should say. So
Yeah, I'm not an early adopter, but I can totally see why you guys want one for the fleet, because that's going to be a beast.
Yeah.
And it looks good, too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So where do you guys think Zadart is going to go? I mean,
Yeah, where do you wanna be when you grow
guys
up?
are selling now, too. I mean, and that's expansion. That's expanding. I think someday, some year, some different governor will get COVID restrictions lifted into a reasonable amount. And then you guys, maybe the club aspect could come back. I mean, what do you guys see for Zadart, or what's the long term?
That is a great question. It's just so funny thinking back, like what it came from and like
That's
what
why
it
I
is
asked,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, like when we signed the lease on the place that we were in now, it was just like, holy crap! Like this is getting like really big, really fast, and it's just because people have so much fun. So it's kind of like it all happened, and we're just kind of adapting with where it goes. I mean, people always ask us like, "Oh, do you want to be in Portland? Do you want to be in, People ask like Spokane, and I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, the market here is not Seattle people, but like
Spokane, if you were doing classic cars, yeah, like classic muscles, yeah.
that's another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the classic people keep asking us like, would you ever rent out classic cars or like cool like enthusiast cars like an E90 M3 or something like?
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, but it's really like we tried with an M2 comp and we did like big turbos, like crazy build on it. And literally the first rental, someone like money shifted second gear and blew it up. Yeah, and it's like, so you have to try all of these things and like fail miserably. And when you fail miserably,
and expensively.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's why it's so hard to like go into a new direction, because like it's just like when it's uncharted territory, it costs a lot of money.
Well, what you have is working. I was more curious if you guys had heard anything, or you guys just had any other ideas burning.
I mean, I think growth is good, but
Yeah.
I think taking our time and making sure that everything's dialed 100% before you make that next step is very important. So,
Yeah, like you said, an expensive game to play.
I've only been there since September, and I've learned a ton. I can't imagine what these guys have gone through in the last 5 or 6 years.
Oh, yeah. I know way more about insurance than I ever wanted to, ever.
That was going to be my next question, actually. All right, so you're somebody who's had too many drinks and you're being very stupid and you wreck one of these cars, which is a sad story in any rental fleet. It doesn't matter if it's exotic or not, but it's a whole different story when you wreck a $200,000 car.
Yeah.
What happens?
Not that it's happened.
Never.
Yeah.
No, it has happened many times, and it's very unfortunate every time. We just hope that people tell us about it, because we've had a story of when someone got the car impounded and then took a flight to Mexico the next day because they were supposed to be there for a music show. So the tow yard called us, and they're like, hey, we have this McLaren that's registered to you. What do you want us to do with it? And we were like, what?
No, you don't.
Yeah, and we like looked, and we were like, oh, you do? Like, what? And we tried to call the guy, and just nothing for like 24 hours. And so we were like, oh, man, like we filed an insurance claim and all this stuff. And, I mean, as long as you work with your insurance,
Did
totally
he crash
fine.
it?
Oh, yeah, he did like a 360 on
okay.
I-5.
I thought he just got it impounded. I was like, what do you call the insurance for on that?
Yeah,
Okay, got
he
it.
totaled it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
to make that very clear.
Got it. Okay. All
That
right.
thing was smashed.
Cue Mexico.
Yeah. No, it was like a pretty prominent like music stars manager here in the area. So yeah, it's like, dude, everyone knows who you are. Like, what are you doing? Like, he's like, well, I had stuff to do, and I was like, what? This car is like $300,000.
It's not my car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, as long as you work with your insurance, I mean, it's really like if you crashed your own car. I mean, you pay your deductible.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, your company's not going to be happy with you after, but
Oh, yeah, I'd imagine you're going to go into pretty high rate hikes.
yeah, and if you've had like tickets and stuff, they'll probably drop you. But like, there's been instances where we've had like cars get keyed and stuff like that, and that's like a no fault comprehensive stuff. So they look at that a little differently. But yeah, we've had claims that have taken like 6 months, and it's just because people don't work with their insurance. Like, that's what insurance is for. So you might as well use it. But if you don't work with them to solve the problem, then not much you can do about
Does
it.
somebody need to reach out to their insurance company, or should they before they come rent a car from you?
No, we kind of do all the heavy lifting.
Okay.
Chris makes a lot of
Because I also feel
calls.
like if I call my insurance company and I go, even with mine, and go, I'm going to go out and rent an Aventador, they're going to go, yeah, we don't want you to do that kind of thing.
We had a big problem with that because for like 2 years, Progressive would call us and say like, hey, our limit on a policy is $150,000. We don't cover cars over that. And until we had a lawyer go through and read a policy like front to back, there's nothing in there that says that. They just tell you that because they don't want you to rent the car to those people.
It's in their best interest not to pay you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they have to, but they don't want to, like, they will literally
And they do
tell
this to
you-
normal people, too. It's not just like exotic cars. They mean
Yeah.
it's in their best interest not to pay you. That's an insurance game. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, and that's why it's super funny. There's a body shop in Bellevue that has a giant banner on their back back wall that says like State Farm convicted of defrauding customers like $860 million in bad claims or something like that. And it's just such a picture perfect, like, this is what insurance is, because they will nickel and dime you. And it's no fun with these cars.
Yeah, anytime you get into any kind of questionable situation with your insurance, whether fault is at question, we're big believers in dash cams here. We highly recommend them to anybody who has a car, no matter what it is.
Front and rear now.
Front and rear. Even if you have a cheap car, and I mean like sub $20,000 used car, get a dash cam. But also,
everybody in Russia has them.
Right?
I mean, that's where the best videos come from.
It's definitely in your best interest. But also, if there's any kind of questionable thing, it is worth your time to get a lawyer. Almost every single time. I have seen, when I worked in, not the insurance industry, I worked in the body shop business, and I worked with insurance companies a lot. There was a whole different tone that took when all of a sudden a lawyer showed up and wanted to talk about their claim and their parts. We'd see that a lot on expensive new vehicles. I don't mean like $100,000. I mean like somebody would get like an F-350, which is an expensive truck, and it'd be like at the time, $65,000 truck, and it would get hit really hard, and it would be like a week old. The insurance company wouldn't want to pay out to the value of the truck, or they'd say it was only worth this much. Then a lawyer would show up, and it was all of a sudden they had a brand new truck right there. Like, nope, we're totaling this. And the lawyer would be like, yeah, this is totaled. Because you can't get parts. It's this much time. It's this much cost per day for parts. It's this much cost for your time. We're adding this all up, and all of a sudden the insurance is like, okay, the truck's worth $70, but the lawyer's like, yeah, we're billing you for $100 for loss of time. And they won't get it, but it'll make your insurance company wake up real quick if there's anything questionable, and they'll be like, well, they will pay you to go away. And that is a thing with a lawyer, sad to say.
Well, and a good body shop will help. Like I will say, the things I've done, especially like with the deer and things like that, like, and I would say the Queen City Auto Rebuild has been amazing in the fact that I've taken cars there, and they're like, we'll deal with it. Like they're gonna argue, and because they know the stuff and they know who to talk to at the insurance companies and go, look, we know you don't want to put a core support in this, but safety-wise, we need,
Yeah.
So
we would advocate
all about
too.
that,
but there'd be certain times where I'd be like, talk to the customer. This is well past statute of limitation because I'm not supposed to do this. Or I'd talk to the customer and be like, boy, your estimate looks a little low. And I'd look them straight in the face and just stop and be like, they'd be like, low. And be like, maybe I should get a lawyer. Maybe you should.
I didn't tell you to do that.
I can't advise you on that, exactly. But maybe you should.
We ain't found.
Yeah. No, there's so much like diminished value, loss of use, all these things that like go into it.
Well, especially loss of use with you because if it's not sitting there, you can't rent it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. Canceling people. People are so bummed too because it's like such a great like thing that they've been looking forward to, and you call and you're like, man, it got crashed, and they're like, that's such a bummer, but like I was looking forward to it, and they're never happy with like their second choice, and it's just like playing customer service. Chris is really good at it. Like,
yes, he is.
Damage control.
No, there's a lot of things that people don't like think of when they think of the rental car industry, and that is definitely one of them. Just making sure people have like the time of their lives, especially in these cars.
Well, and I mean, I have had horrible chances with or things that have happened with regular rental car companies where I've shown up and they've been like, yeah, we don't have a car. It's literally a Seinfeld scene. Like, well, no, I rented a car from you. You're supposed to save me a car. Yeah, we don't have one. Well, then you have a problem because I need a car and I've paid you, like kind of thing. So you're saying if somebody rents a car from you, always have a backup, just in case.
Yeah, unless it's like July 4th weekend and
yeah,
not much we can do about that. But
sure.
Yeah, we're just people too, you know.
Yeah, that's a fun topic though. I do want to know actually if you can, without sharing names, of course, and keeping things very private. I would love to know what is your like most crazy, outlandish customer story that you are willing to share.
Oh man, I think probably the coolest person I've ever like met, and this was like probably like 5 years ago.
It doesn't have to be a bad story.
Yeah, no, it was J.K. Rowling came and she like flew her jet in and like picked up a couple cars and did like this big road trip.
She lives in her car. I wouldn't give her a car.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, super cool. And we like went and like picked up the cars from Portland at their like jet place or whatever, and they're like so friendly and nice. But it was kind of funny because they booked it in like her husband's name, and it was like kind of like sounding like concierge-y. And so I was like, who is this guy? And I Googled him, and I was like, oh man, like I love Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like this is so cool. And I like.
Oh, you mean Star Wars for wizards? Yeah. I'm gonna say it. She ripped it off. Okay,
yeah, like that was really cool. I mean, there's definitely like Seahawks players and stuff like that, but everyone is super nice. Like I never expected people like, I don't know, like you always watch Seahawks games and like football, basketball, whatever, whoever I haven't had a bad experience with any of those people yet. They've all been super kind and, you know, just kind of want to chat about life, and
they're normal people.
They want to be treated normal.
Yeah, totally. It's been really great. I always thought there'd be a bunch of like, you know, rich assholes, and they're not. Yeah.
I think sometimes those sides come out with those players when they're pushed and they're in a corner with things. But like when we had Cliff on here, it's one of the nicest down to earth people I've ever met. So. It's interesting, like I said. I mean, and obviously, you know, being in the car industry around here, there's always the fun stories and things like that. Because people screw up, things get broken, which sucks. But it's good to hear that there's good stories.
Yeah. Lots of stories.
So many stories.
Yeah, I keep a photo album called Crashed Cars on my phone.
Oh, nice.
Often reminisce down memory lane.
I remember that fondly.
Oh, I like that car.
Yeah, I liked it for 3 weeks.
Okay, so I got a question. What's the shortest amount of time a car has lasted?
20 days.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
It was the blue McLaren. Didn't even have plates on it. It had a temp plate.
The 720?
No, it was a 650.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nobody knows we had it because it was for 20 days.
Just 20 days. Didn't make it onto the website quite quickly.
No, I literally don't think it. We took it on like a company road trip, and it was supposed to get pictures, and we rented out like for a date night, and gone.
Oh, sucks.
Yeah.
Is that the one on the on-ramp? That
That was the one that was ping-ponging across the lanes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. And he wasn't like...
That's not a good date night.
No.
Yeah.
No, and he wasn't drinking either. He just lost control. And I was like, man, it was raining. You should have chilled out a little.
Too much throttle and wet.
Back in, step out on you. I mean, it happens to the best of us, even when we know how to drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely does.
Those cars will get away from you quick, too. Any of the McLarens, they're probably the best handling chassis I've ever driven, but also, like, you can tell they like to kick out.
Oh, man.
Especially the 650s with the turbo lag, because they do have a lot of it. It kicks in hard when it kicks in.
God, what's the 720 got? It's got that freaking, like, you can drift mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure that's turned
drift
off.
control. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we did. We figured out you can't just like we figured out a way to like actually disable like the software for the buttons, so you can't like actually use that mode anymore.
Yeah,
because tires, man, our tires were like on a C7. Oh man, people would just smoke the things. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, it's so easy in that car. You tap the throttle and like you're doing sideways down the road. But
if a car comes back with cores that it didn't have it, is that a charge that is passed on to the person?
Yeah.
It is.
So we do a damage report with the customer.
Okay. That's technically a damage.
Before they leave.
Yeah. Okay.
Make sure we're on the same page about anything that's there before they take it.
Yeah.
it was never them though when things do happen.
Of course, yeah.
It wasn't.
They're always
the car did it.
Conveniently leaning against that bumper or something.
Yeah.
And we're trying to look. Could you please move over?
Yeah.
Oh, that's another good one. A guy, he rented a Huracan, and it looked like he was taking an off ramp and just rubbed it a whole side against the guardrail.
Oh.
And he pulls in and parks it right next to another car, like on the side.
That's planning. That's
yeah,
smart.
and I was like, dude, what do you think? I'm not going to walk around it? Like, what? In the whole entire side. And he had the audacity to be like, oh, I don't remember that. And I was like,
Were you drinking a lot?
Probably doesn't.
oh, man. Yeah,
You probably shouldn't drink and drive or do drugs.
Yeah. No,
Drugs are bad, Kay.
Yeah.
yeah. No, that was a sweet, like, $50,000, like, half of a car repaint. And, yeah.
I was wondering what the repair bills must be like. You guys would know.
A lot.
When you can
They're
repair
astonishing
them,
to
that
see
is.
so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm new to it, but
I mean,
front bumper, like, what?
yeah.
Yeah.
A Lamborghini Aventador diffuser. That's
The rear diffuser for everybody is the rear spoiler that's underneath the back of the car.
yeah. And when they make them out of carbon fiber, it's like it's cool, but like when you think about it, there's a lot of rocks and stuff, you know.
Yep.
And like when you scratch it, you have to replace the whole thing, not just part of it.
Even with clear bra on those things,
Shatter too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was we didn't used to be like such big clear bra people, but now it's like so much easier to just tell someone like, okay, we replaced the clear bra. You don't have to pay for the downtime of painting. Like, it's just this little thing. Before it was like, man, it's gonna be out for like 3 weeks, and nobody wants to pay for that. And so doing clear bra has been a lifesaver. It's been really helpful.
I've seen more diffusers killed actually down in Monterey with people backing their cars into things. And,
Yep.
and you're like, dude, stop. Like,
I think down there. I think I've literally like slapped people's cars.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because it was like I'd rather you yell at me for hitting your car than you smack this curb behind your
the
car.
dent I put in it is much cheaper than that diffuser. Trust me.
Yeah.
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 Like, what are you doing? I'm like, do you want to back into the curb? Because I'll let you.
There's never thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not fun. I think it's 22,000 or something like that. Yeah, some like ridiculous number where you're just like, man, like, and clear pictures, man. It wasn't there before, and you did it, and people were just like, so can I pay out of pocket before they hear the number, and then they're like, yeah, nope,
Nope.
not
Insurance
doing
claim.
that. Yeah, that's
Never mind. You don't know me. Call my insurance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's my $500.
I'd say that's
deductible.
people's first reaction every time when we see something is,
Yeah.
well, can you just get a quote and we'll pay out of pocket? And like, you're not going to want to pay out of pocket.
Yeah. If you rented this, you're not paying out of pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, you'd own it.
I can do that. Do you have heart conditions? Yeah. That's going to hurt.
That's funny.
It's going to hurt.
All right. Let's take our next break. We'll be right back. I want to talk to you guys about let's walk through the rental process. We'll be right back.
Grandpa, what do you call this thing again?
It's a 66 Ford Bronco.
I think you got ripped off.
Why is that, honey?
It's got no Wi-Fi, no USB port, no Bluetooth.
Exactly. I guess we'll just have to talk.
Sometimes the best way to connect is to disconnect.
Is that the window button?
It's called a window crank.
Cool. The faster I move it, the faster it goes down.
This moment of escape was created by Haggerty
Being old is kind of cool, Grandpa.
Works for me.
for people who love cars.
And we're back. What were the questions you had, Dan? No, I was kidding. Let's talk about this a little bit about what the rental process is, about what somebody should do before, and how it works.
So a couple different ways you can rent a car. You can either make a reservation on our website, super easy, super user friendly. Pick the time you want, the amount of miles you want, the time you want to pick it up, you're good to go. We also do a walk-in special. So if you're ever just out cruising around, you have free time, come in, any car that's available, 20% off, just right off the bat, no reservation required.
Huh. I need to walk around that area more.
Right?
I just came from the Goose. Can I have a Corvette?
It honestly surprises me. I didn't think that would be as popular as it is. The amount of people that just cruise in and, yeah, I'm going to take the Aventador for a day.
Sure.
Just okay.
20% off of that is a good deal.
Yes, that is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Depending on the season, there's always different specials. Holiday season, we do Black Friday to around Christmas, 50% off, which is
That's
the best deal you're going to get all year. On top of that, 50% off gift cards. So you can get double your gift card value that you buy and then save that, wait till summertime, and book something out.
Oh, there you go.
That's a great gift, especially for somebody that wants
gift.
to do that, drive that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, lots of holiday gifts get given that way. That's the best way. But once your reservation's made, you just have to have a valid driver's license, valid insurance. The insurance policy does have to be active for at least 7 days before the rental.
Okay.
So no same-day changes, no I bought the policy this morning. Needs to be an active policy.
Be canceling it tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So the insurance policy, it has to be from a major carrier. Pretty much anyone you've heard a commercial from is good to go, excluding like Verd Funk, the General, High Risk.
I can't get the General has Shaq. I mean, come on, they can't be that.
Third DUI.
God, that song's in my head now. Yeah.
And I've had that conversation with people before. It's like, no, I have insurance. I'm like, you have insurance because you have a prior condition.
Yeah.
If you've talked to Vern Funk, we don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Casey asked me the other day about Metro Mile. I was like, no.
Not a cell phone plan?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I'm assuming the insurance policy needs to be full coverage, too. I mean, you can't just have liability on your insurance. Okay.
Full coverage, comprehensive, and collision.
Okay. Your monkey policy isn't going to cover it, Nick.
The deductible amounts don't matter as long as you have those coverages. It will work for our
They'll
rental
matter
process.
to you, though.
Yes, they
if
will.
something
Certainly.
happens, yeah.
Reservation's probably our most common way. You show up, say your reservation at 3 o'clock, 15 minutes before. Have your insurance ready. That's got to be the biggest holdup in someone's rental process, is trying to get a hold of their insurance agent and get them to send us their declaration page and all this.
Okay.
Your client's here to rent an Aventador. No, he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have to make that call.
His policy's just getting canceled. We're sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would suck.
But super easy, like Progressive, Geico, USAA, their mobile apps are amazing. You just pull it up, it's one screenshot, and we're good to go.
Nice.
So that's super easy.
Much easier than people think.
Yeah. I think these guys have gone through the process, but it's tailored down to be a seamless, easy process.
Got some fancy
It's-
iPads now.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fun experience, and you don't want to start it off with a hectic process.
That's really good to know that. Get your insurance squared away. This time of year, I drop my deductibles anyway because I go through windshields like toilet paper.
So explain something to me. I rent something from you for a couple hours, and then I'm coming back and I get stuck in traffic. How does that work? Like, it's not. They didn't mean to do it, but it happens, I'm assuming.
We have a grace period that we tend to go to. If the car's not rented, it's not as big of a deal. If there's someone sitting there with
Waiting
a rental
for it, yeah.
waiting for it, then it becomes more of a process.
Okay.
Yeah.
The customer's nice. If they're not so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
But there are fees for returning it late. Is my point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can always tell on the GPS if you text someone and you're like, hey, spend 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, you're past your grace period, and they're like, oh, I'm coming back, and they're like clearly not coming back.
Yeah.
It's like,
You're actually driving in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Sir, you're
I can
still-
see the car.
Yeah.
You're in Vegas. This is going to work.
Yeah.
What is the farthest you ever had somebody take a car?
What's your farthest so far? I've been meaning to ask you this.
No, the GPS is in Vegas. I don't know where the car is.
Southern Oregon is for me.
Yeah.
I've had a couple requests for Canada.
Can you do that?
They ask you a lot of questions. But
I was
going to
say, taking a rented car. I mean, I would think if I was taking a rented Hyundai across the border, it wouldn't be as a big deal. But if you show up, don't look in the trunk.
Yeah. So we require the rentals to stay in Washington State for a 1 day rental. If you do at least a multiple day rental, and let us know ahead of time, we're okay with it leaving the state.
That's fair.
So be nice, communicate, have your insurance paperwork in order at least 7 days in advance. Plan ahead. You should be all right.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, we'll point out how to operate the car and how to use a lot of the features. But watch YouTube and stuff like that. Like, get familiar with the car
Watch
as
the
much
right
as you
YouTube.
can.
Yeah,
Hold on.
Exactly.
Even if you don't like him, watch Doug DeMuro's videos.
Oh, yeah.
Because he does all the quirks and weird features of cars, and there's a lot of quirks and features on exotics.
Certainly.
Did you guys have to put a lot of time and effort and money into figuring out how to lock out some of these things with these cars?
We have a really great service tech who invests a lot of money in those fancy scanners and
Got
stuff.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering. Yeah.
You guys were talking about the tools of McLaren's. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. There's, like, software for those things are just astronomically expensive. It's ridiculous.
That's because a dealership's supposed to be paying it. A large dealership. Yeah.
No, our guy is not a large dealer, but he does do all of our cars, which is very nice.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
We were talking to Ferrari Seattle one time, and they were talking about what Ferrari charges them for new software every year in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, just to be able to work on cars that they already sold. So,
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. Exotic cars, exotic prices in everything, in every way. So you guys do more. You guys actually do offer some services of all things, I found out. It's what were you saying, Chris?
So rental sales during the day.
Okay.
In order to kind of maximize the space that we have, we do window tinting and PPF installation in the evening.
Cool. What brands do you use for?
Steck brand.
Good.
And 3M.
All right. Well, yeah. Best of the best with.
That's good to know.
That's very good to know.
That's very good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. We are big fans of Steck. It's proven to be an exceptional product. I think it's probably the best PPF you can buy, honestly.
Yep.
Yeah, we put a lot of miles on trying to figure that out. So
you drive behind the rock truck. No.
No, it's just so much easier peeling that off than repainting the car, and that's really what I mean. People, it's so worth the $1,000 or $1,500 or $2,000, whatever it is, the full front. I mean, who knows what's on the road? A rock, a wood, snow, whatever. I mean,
bird.
So many things.
The one big chip of PPF I had in my Porsche was from the second day I owned it. And I was driving back and I hit a bird on I-90 in North Dakota at 100 and God knows how many miles an hour, and it just exploded. And it didn't leave a lot behind, but actually chipped the PPF. It just flew.
Beak in the PPF.
Yeah.
Beak print, yeah.
We've RCS and our affiliates and people who have gone rallies have killed a lot of birds.
Oh, yeah.
Birds and deer.
And all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Squirrels.
I don't want to talk about it.
Never intentionally, God no, but man, it's just an unfortunate thing when you drive a lot of fun back roads. Back roads have animals.
Well, especially when you're trying to come into McCall at night. There's deer. Yeah.
A lot of deer.
Yeah. They go airborne too. They're Santa deer.
They fly.
Santa
they
deer.
poop when they fly. It turns out.
Yes, they do. Everywhere. So they'll scare the crap out of you. Yeah.
Yeah, come see us for your tint and PPF needs.
Good to know.
I think we have some of the best installers in the game and back everything that they do.
You're doing
warranty.
it at night? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's actually great. You just
overnight?
drop the car
You drop the car off at night?
Maximize the space. The rental process is cars in and out. And it just works.
So do you drop it over? You drop it out overnight?
Drop it off 5 o'clock at night. Pick it up 10 a.m. the next morning when we open.
Huh. Good to know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
I didn't either. Yeah, it's really good to know. Are you guys still an Avance partner?
Yep.
What is the Avance deal with you guys?
It's 15%.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
15%. We love Avance, honestly. And everyone who comes in is that they're okay, you can drive a car,
So I'm just going to walk in my 20% off and then get,
They don't stack.
No, they don't stack. They do not stack.
Yeah. Well, this time of year, if you've got a clear, cold day, it's probably a really good day to come in and walk in because you probably don't have a lot of rentals backed up during the week, and a lot of us have the ability to work from home, or we have flex time.
Work from a Huracan? Yeah. That'd be nice. Yeah.
I've worked from a Porsche.
I have two. Yeah. Nice. Well, that's excellent. I mean, obviously, you guys have been around for a long time, and we wanted to get you in here, and I'm glad we finally could. We talked about you leaving your other job and the problems that is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's been a big change, but
you seem happy.
Very, very
which
similar.
Is great.
Very similar. I mean, my whole thing at Salish was seeing people just have the experience and time of their life. This is guaranteed. Every single person that comes in there.
But you created wonderful experiences at Salish, and you're doing it now with these ones too. Yeah. So that's good. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, I think Dreams Driven was their logo or slogan from the beginning. It really is true. I mean,
where did the name come from?
Oh, that's a good
Nobody
question.
knows.
Nobody knows. Okay.
I think it was something about a Google algorithm.
Okay. That's fair.
That's funny.
Okay. I've always wondered that.
Yeah.
And people have asked me that. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you to expect the unexpected, and nothing every day would be different. And I think you found that to be true.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly did. But yeah, I mean, it was a small car community around here. Everyone knows everyone, and that's kind of how I met Eric, and them bringing cars up to Salish and met them. And then when he decided to move on, he gave me a call and was like, hey, you want to try something different? And I was like,
Normal hours?
yeah,
Sure.
Wait, what?
This sounds amazing. Yeah.
I don't understand. I just have to talk to people during hours? I don't have to, like, nobody can call me when I'm sleeping? Yeah.
Well, I do love my neighbors down the road, but you are dearly missed at Salish.
Yes.
That is 100% true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of deer around there.
There are a lot of deer, though.
Yeah.
You should watch it if you rent a car and go up to Salish,
Yeah.
just so you know.
Just so you know. Yeah.
They don't bounce as well as you'd think.
They slide. Sorry.
Well, let's see. Coming up at Avance, we've got a tech session at Totem Lake, and we say Totem Lake because that's Totem Lake Auto Complex, that's M Shop, Rain City Wheel Repair, no relation, and Coatings, Veloce Motorsports, and Vintage Motorworks. That is January 22nd, so just around the corner. And then the next thing we got, February 5th, we have 2 events coming up. We've got the Avance Ladies Griot's Garage Private Collection Tour and Tech Session.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
That is going to be fun. We have seen that. Obviously, Griot's is a sponsor of the show, RCS 10 for 10% off of any Griot's product. But also, that is an amazing place with amazing people. Longtime fans, we've been lucky to go see that before they were a sponsor, and it is just
if you're down there in
incredible.
person, see if Guy's there, say hi.
Say hi at the counter
he
there.
runs the retail store. Great friend of ours. So
Yeah, and Richard Griot's collection it's out of this world. One of the coolest things you will ever see in this area, not just because it's exotic cars, but because it's hot rods and eclectic cars and just diverse, massive car collection of cool stuff. So go check that out. Ladies only, 50 spots total. Talk to Chrissy at Avance. She can hook you up. And then they have charter member shoots the same day on the 5th from 2 to 7:15 p.m. So you can technically do both if you hurry, ladies. Photographer is Travis Gallatin. And, of course, if you look at the Avance events page, you will see some of his work, which is always impressive. So next time you'll see us in person will be the Avance Off-Road on February 19th. We'll try not to run out of hot dogs. That's a daytime event, 10 to 3 p.m. We'll need a lot of hot dogs.
yeah, we do. We're going to talk more about the off-road night event in the bonus episode, but they are going to do it again. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it looked really cool.
I've never had that much fun out there ever. I mean, and they've changed the course. It's a lot of fun.
So you should do for fun, since you've got grab a G-Wagon or something and run the course. And you don't have to go nuts out there. Like if you don't want damage, you don't get it.
You have a guy that'll clean it for you. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you can drive. Well, they spray it down session at the end, but just for the fun of it. Oh, that might send the wrong message to customers. You should probably talk to
Don't do that.
Brandon McDowell and be like,
not be the best.
customers are not allowed to bring the G-Wagon to the off-road event. Let's put it that way. That would be a bad idea. It'd be really fun, but you shouldn't do it. But,
No.
but it'd be fun for you guys. You can check it out. It'd be a cool thing to do.
Yeah, the off-road might not be up our alley too much, but I know we do have some plans to do some more stuff with Avance.
Yeah, cool.
We've talked with Chrissy about Ladies' Night.
There you go.
At Zadart there. We have the club aspect that we can utilize if we need to. If anyone remembers, a couple years ago, we did do a Zadart Avance Salish
That was
drive.
a long time ago.
I remember that. Yeah.
Many moons.
I think we learned a lot that night about what not to do and what to do. But I think we've got some better ideas on how to do that. I've talked to Adam a little bit, and I think we want to get some more of those going.
Cool.
Excellent.
That'd be really cool.
Forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Avance members, when that event gets announced, we of course will report it here.
Yeah.
So we'll share that out.
Well, guys, thanks for coming in, taking time. Sorry we got delayed a week, like I said, but glad
Not
we
bad.
could get you in here. Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, that was great.
It's long
Appreciate you having me
overdue.
back.
Yeah, and congratulations on your latest, not new at this point. I guess it's been 5 months now, 4
We're
months.
About 5 months in, yeah.
5 months in, so yeah, but we're glad to have you there. I'm
Time
glad
flies
it's
well.
working for you. But,
Right.
So
For this episode of Rain City Supercars, I'm Nick.
I'm Dan, and don't just get there. Enjoy the drive.